we need to let people know that each one of them is precious.
Hi guys, how's it going? So just got back from seeing It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood starring Tom Hanks, and I gotta say guys, this is a must-see for sure. Tom Hanks does an amazing portrayal of Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, as we all grew up as kids, nostalgic feeling to the core. What I really loved about this movie is the opening and the closing. It made me transport back in time like I was a little kid watching Mr. Rogers. I love how this movie stays so true to the heart and soul of that TV show and that character of Mr. Rogers, and also at the same time has its own story of this journalist reporter named Lloyd who works for Esquire, who's assigned to basically do a profile story of Mr. Rogers. And these two worlds collide, and it's like watching a feature-length episode of Mr. Rogers. It's incredible. It just has a nice kind of fun little twist to it. And the beginning, you're kind of like, what's going on? But it just, the way it was shot too, like, I know film, we can do anything pretty much nowadays, but it's really hard to capture that, film quality that you're watching something made in the 70s and 80s, even if you have the graphic, film cinematography design to make it and have that feel and age to it. But this really made it feel like I was watching, Tom Hanks being Fred Rogers. It was just crazy how they were able to do the film for those scenes of the TV show part of the movie. But yes, let's get back to the film. This story is basically, like I said, it's a true story inspired by this friendship of Mr. Rogers and this reporter, and that's assigned to do this story on him. And it's basically, they're doing, heroes around the nation. And Fred Rogers is one of pretty much the only famous people, that is willing to see this rare, because I guess through all his previous interviews, he's kind of a tough guy and he makes the other guys not sound as good. And, no one wants to really put their work with him. But anyways, Fred is the only one, and that is our story. This is our movie. It's a movie about forgiveness, of hope, of family, of sadness, anger, what you do when you need to be able to do the right thing, conviction. And to me, it just had that just energy of something very special, but yet very simplistic. It wasn't a complicated story. It was really to the point and just focusing on these two men, mainly Lloyd. And that's the thing I want to talk about this movie. I like Tom Hanks so much that every time he was on screen, I wanted that. And when he wasn't on screen, I missed him. So obviously, he does a fantastic job. He just plays such iconic, amazing, characters that we all know and grew up with, and now he's playing these real life people. And, from Captain Phillips to Sully to Walt Disney and now Fred Rogers. It's just incredible what he's able to do and make you feel like you're not watching someone acting like someone, but while you're in the movie, you're really watching this real person, but an actor, playing him. And to me, that's just so awesome. And just, I love how I don't feel like I'm watching a film. I just feel like I'm watching real people. And it's just so great. So, Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Brian, I just gotta say, I'm gonna give this a 7.9 out of 10. It is extremely worth watching for all ages, and that's the beauty thing about this movie too, is you feel that. You feel childs and the adults who watch Mr. Rogers, and you see their inner child, and it's just the way they interact and he interacts with them in the movie, and it's just very magical. And just, this man was just amazing. Like, growing up as a kid, yeah, I watched the show, but I just never thought of him as this big deal. But when you really look as a whole, I mean, he was a big guy. Like, he really was loved and well loved around, the world and stuff like that, and rightfully so. He's just an incredible person, incredible human being, and Tom Hanks brings that spirit and magic into it. So thank you, Tom Hanks. So yes, guys, go check it out. It's such a good movie. It's such a feel-good movie. It's a great time to have this movie come out during the holidays and just uplift you and encourage you, inspire you to just be better, and to great message and just full of quality stuff that we can, as human beings, be able to implicate and input in our lives and every day. So guys, check it out. Have a wonderful time. And hey, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Daniel, you set?
I'm set.
Thank you, Daniel.
Did she just talk to the puppet?
Please don't talk.